In the vast tropical expanse of Papua New Guinea, where emerald green jungles meet the brilliant blue of the Pacific Ocean, there once was a small settlement known as My Village. This village was nestled right against the coastline, its huts built on stilts over the gentle lapping waves. The people here lived in harmony with the sea, their lives dictated by the rhythm of the tides and the bounty of the coral reefs. It was a place of simple beauty, where the air was thick with the scent of salt and tropical flowers, and the sound of the ocean was a constant, comforting presence. Life was peaceful, guided by ancient traditions and a deep respect for the natural world that surrounded them. Living amongst the villagers were two young, orphaned brothers, named Roto and Mado. Having lost their parents at a very young age, they were raised by their kind and wise grandmother. She was a woman who held the stories of their ancestors in her heart, and she taught the boys everything she knew about the sea and the land. Roto, the elder, was strong and thoughtful, his mind always observing the patterns of the waves. Mado, the younger, was agile and incredibly brave, with a spirit as restless and deep as the ocean itself. Together they were inseparable, their bond forged in shared loss and a profound love for their coastal home and the grandmother who cared for them. The boys spent their days exploring the world around them. They learned to navigate the complex network of coral reefs that protected their village, identifying every fish and creature that called the waters home. Their grandmother would often watch them from the shore, her heart filled with a mixture of pride and worry. She saw in them a strength that was unusual for their age, a connection to the sea that was almost mystical. They were not like the other children in the village. They were quieter, more attuned to the whispers of the wind and the secrets held within the deep blue waters that stretched out to the horizon. Their life, though simple, was filled with the richness of their environment. The sunrise would paint the sky in hues of orange and pink, signaling the start of a new day of fishing and learning. The sunset would bring a blanket of stars so clear and bright they seemed close enough to touch. Roto and Mado grew up with the sea as their playground, their teacher, and their constant companion. This profound connection to the ocean would soon be tested, leading them on a path that would forever change not only their own destinies but the very nature of the world's great waters. One day, an important announcement echoed through My Village. The village chief, a stern and respected leader, gathered all the people together. He declared that his beloved daughter was to be married, and for her wedding ceremony, he desired a very special gift. It was not gold or precious stones he sought, but a rare and legendary flower known as the manaki. This flower was said to grow only in the deepest, most treacherous parts of the ocean floor, its petals glowing with a soft, ethereal light. The chief announced that any man who could bring him this flower would be greatly rewarded and honored throughout the land. The challenge stirred a great excitement among the villagers. The strongest and most experienced divers of My Village, men known for their courage and skill in the water, eagerly prepared for the task. One by one they took their canoes out to the deep sea, their muscles straining as they paddled towards the darkest patches of blue. They plunged into the depths, their bodies disappearing beneath the surface, searching for the elusive manaki. But each diver returned empty-handed, gasping for air, their faces etched with disappointment and exhaustion. The ocean, it seemed, was not willing to give up its most precious secret. As days turned into a week, the hope of the villagers began to fade. The chief grew impatient, his brow furrowed with frustration. No one, not even the most celebrated diver, could find the flower. Laughter and whispers began to circulate in the village as Roto and Mado, the two young brothers, announced that they would try. The older villagers scoffed at them. "You are just boys," they said. "The strongest men have failed. What makes you think you can succeed?" The twins, however, were not discouraged by the mockery. Their grandmother had taught them that courage was not about size or age but about the strength of one's heart. With quiet determination, Roto and Mado prepared their small, humble canoe. They did not have the powerful builds of the other men, but they had something more valuable: a unique understanding of the sea and perfect trust in each other. Roto, with his calm and strategic mind, would guide the canoe to the most likely spot, a place he had sensed through his long hours of watching the currents. Mado, with his fearless spirit and remarkable agility, would make the dive. They ignored the doubtful stares and pushed their canoe into the water, their shared resolve as steady as the horizon before them. Roto paddled their small canoe with a steady, rhythmic grace, his eyes scanning the surface of the water. He was not looking for anything a normal person could see. Instead, he was feeling the subtle shifts in the current, listening to the unique sounds the ocean made in this specific area. He navigated them far from the shore, to a place where the water turned from a bright turquoise to a deep, mysterious navy blue. "Here," Roto said softly, his voice full of confidence. "This is the place, Mado. The water feels different here. It feels ancient." He knew this was where the ocean held its deepest secrets, a place the other divers had been too afraid to explore thoroughly. Mado took a deep breath, his gaze fixed on the dark water below. He trusted his brother's intuition completely. Without a moment of hesitation, he slipped over the side of the canoe and into the sea. The water was colder here and the pressure mounted quickly as he descended. He swam downwards, deeper and deeper, leaving the world of sunlight and air far behind him. The underwater world transformed into a realm of shadows and strange, silent creatures. He swam past vast coral formations and canyons that plunged into darkness, his eyes searching for the legendary glowing flower that had eluded all the others. Just as his lungs began to burn, and he knew he must soon return to the surface, he saw it. Far below him, in the deepest part of an oceanic trench, was a gentle, pulsating light. It was the Manaki flower, its petals shimmering with a soft, magical luminescence, just as the legends describe. With a final burst of energy, Mado pushed himself deeper, his hand reaching out. He carefully plucked the delicate flower from the seabed. As he did, the light seemed to flow into him, and a strange energy coursed through his body. He clutched the precious flower and began his urgent ascent back towards the distant light of the surface. He broke through the waves, gasping for air, the glowing Manaki held triumphantly in his hand. Roto helped him back into the canoe, his face beaming with pride at his younger brother's incredible success. They had done it. They had achieved what no one else could. But as Mado placed the flower in the canoe, a sudden and immense wave rose up from the calm sea, as if the ocean itself was angered by the removal of its treasure. The colossal wave crashed down upon their small vessel, splintering the wood and casting the two brothers into the churning water, separating them from their prize. As the great wave consumed their canoe, a powerful and ancient magic was unleashed. The ocean, having reclaimed its glowing flower, now claimed the two brave brothers as its own. In the tumultuous water, Roto and Mado felt their bodies begin to change. They were no longer boys of flesh and bone, but were transforming into something else entirely, something vast, powerful, and eternal. They were becoming one with the water, their spirits merging with the immense power of the deep. Roto and Mado, the twin brothers, were reborn as the twin seas, their individual forms dissolving into the endless motion of the waves. In their new existence, they possessed the awesome power of the ocean. When they were angered, their waters would swell and churn, creating monstrous waves, tsunamis, that could crash upon the shore with devastating force. In a fit of initial rage and confusion, they unleashed their power upon the coastlines, destroying villages that had once mocked them. But when they saw the destruction they had caused to their own home, my village, a deep sadness filled them. They remembered their grandmother and the peaceful life they once knew. From that moment they made a solemn promise to never again bring harm to their home. They kept their promise, becoming the guardians of their village, their waters turning calm and gentle whenever they neared its shores. Their anger subsided, replaced by a sense of purpose. They were no longer just Roto and Mado, they were the living, breathing spirit of the ocean itself. Their existence was now one of constant movement, an endless journey across the globe. They traveled together, two distinct but inseparable currents, their presence felt on every continent. They are the gentle tides that kiss the sandy beaches and the powerful storms that rage in the heart of the ocean. And so, the legend of the Twin Seas lives on. Roto and Mado continue their eternal voyage, their spirits forever entwined with the world's oceans. They visit distant coasts, sometimes bringing calm and bounty, and other times, when angered by humanity's disrespect for nature, they show their immense power. They serve as a constant reminder of the bravery of two young boys, of the mystical power hidden in the deep, and of the profound, untamable spirit of the sea itself. When you stand by the shore and watch the waves, you are witnessing the endless dance of the two brothers.